Hello and welcome to Norwood News. Today is Friday, August 6th, and I'm your host, Kristen McDonald. It is great to have you with us as we end another week here in Norwood.
It's week 2 of the Vax Million Sweepstakes, a state-run lottery system awarding vaccinated residents the chance to win $1 million or college scholarships. Monday, state officials drew the names of the second-round winners, and it was just announced that the scholarship winner was Norwood resident and Blue Hill student Dylan Barron. Barron knew when he signed up that his chances would be slim.
No, I thought it was just like, signing up for any random thing with any random chance of winning. It's like a 1 in a million chance, so.
Barron couldn't believe it when his mother gave him the big news.
Well, I was at my friend's house, and I woke up like 15 minutes before, and my mom called me, and she was like, all right, I'm on my way to come pick you up. I'll tell you what's going on in the car. And I was like, what did I do wrong? So I was walking down to the car thinking of what I could do wrong, and I didn't do anything, and I got in the car and she just dropped the news that I won the scholarship, and my heart dropped. I mean, I was so overwhelmed, like my mind was just racing. It was just like trying to wrap itself around everything.
Dylan is going into his junior year at Blue Hills and is studying auto repair, specifically engine work. His plans post-high school have now changed and wants to use this money to further his education.
First I was thinking of going to a small community college, but now since, I won the scholarship, I'm thinking of, going bigger, learning more things.
Many congrats, Dylan. This is exciting for you and your family. For Norwood News, I'm Brian Boudreau.
The Bond Street Playground is a popular spot in town, and this week the park saw a massive upgrade to its swing sets.
So you'll have one regular swing, you'll have 4 toddler swings, the bucket seats, and you're going to have one ADA accessible swing. So that is all the swings there. We have a poured rubber surface that is very ADA friendly. We have this new fabulous panel element that we just put in. We have some sensory elements for flowers, so we have a little bit for everything. And we also have a fire truck that we just installed about 4 or 5 years ago. So we really have something for everybody at this playground.
Thanks, Travis. Tuesday night, the Norwood Police Department celebrated National Night Out, an annual community building campaign that promotes police and community partnerships and neighborhood camaraderie. The Common was packed with members of the police department and residents who were spending the time getting to know one another. Chief Brooks was taken aback by the turnout.
National Night Out was started back in 1984, as I understand it. It's a nationwide program designed to bring communities and police closer together. We've never really done it before because we have Norwood Day in September and we do the open house with the fire department in October, so we haven't really taken it on, but we decided to do it this year. We thought it'd be a good year for it. And so we weren't really sure what kind of turnout we'd get, but it actually didn't start till 6, and when I got here at 5, there were already people here. And so as you can see, it's a great crowd. We have radio cars on the Common. We've got the wagoners here. We have motorcycles. Sheriff McDermott brought his command post, which was awfully good of him. So the kids can sit in a radio car, sit in the wagon, talk to the officers. We've got kind of not really a contest going, but the officers all have trading cards. And if children collect 10 trading cards, they can go and get a free ice cream. So that causes them to interact with the officers and to kind of make their way around the Common. So it's a great event. I really want to thank all of the families that brought their kids down to meet the officers. I've said all along, if you just meet our officers, you can't help but like them and trust them and believe in our mission. And so this is something I'm sure that now we're going to do every year.
Thanks, Chief. We are already looking forward to next year's event. We'll be right back with news about an upcoming international event taking place right here in Norwood.
Coming up on the latest Norwood Digest. From NHS TV to CBS Charleston, Norwood's own Robert Way sits down for an exclusive interview about his career path since his days at NHS. Preparations are in order for Norwood's 150th birthday. Tom Maloney shares a sneak peek of events and collectibles to look forward to. And learn about Norwood's rendition of the Thornton Wilder classic, Our Town. Tune into the latest episode of Norwood Digest with Jack McCarthy right here on Norwood Community Media, your home for all things Norwood.
Welcome back. Next weekend, the top international figure skaters in the world will be coming right here to Norwood. The Skating Club of Boston is hosting its first large-scale international competition since opening its doors in the fall of 2020. Executive Director Doug Zegheib is looking forward to the event.
So the Skating Club of Boston is hosting its first very large event, August 14th and 15th. What started out as a small local competition is now an international competition where U.S. skaters can earn points to make the Olympic team. We have pair teams from Russia, individual skaters from China, Korea, Poland, Cyprus, France, and of course, the United States, and skaters from the Skating Club of Boston. We've actually got the top teams in pairs competing at the U.S. Championships in Nashville. They're going to be here. Top ladies in the country are going to be here, and some of the top men. It's amazing. All these great skaters around the world coming to Norwood, Mass on the 14th and 15th of August. You can find out more information, scboston.org, on the main page under events or /Cranberry.
If Norwood residents are interested in attending the event, this is how you purchase the tickets.
The events are open to everybody. I'm not sure the ticket pricing yet. They go on sale, I think, this Friday. They may be more money than you would typically think, but they're about 25% of what you would pay going to a U.S. championship, seeing the same skaters. I think they're $30, $35 for a whole day of skating. And again, these are some of the skaters you'll see on NBC in January at the Olympic trials.
Also, public skating has started and is open to all Norwood residents.
So here at the Skating Club of Boston, we're now opening for public skating. Saturdays and Sundays, you can find the schedule on the club website, which is scboston.org, under schedules and then public skating. It's $10 and $4, but if you're a Norwood resident, you get 50% off. Just come on in and show proof of residency. And for now, with the new Delta variant expanding rapidly, masks are required all times you're in the building, also while you're on the ice. But come on down, it's a great way to beat the heat and see what we're doing here.
July, a month typically known for its beach days and hot weather, this year was known for overcast skies and rain. The greater Boston area experienced the second wettest July since record-taking began in the late 1800s. We had the chance to talk to Norwood resident and meteorologist at the National Weather Service, Boston, Joe Delacarpini, to talk about the science behind this historically rainy and unfortunate July.
Hi everyone, this is Joe Delacarpini. I'm a meteorologist and the Science and Operations Officer at the National Weather Service's Boston office, which is located in Norton. I'm also a Norwood resident. So first to start, just to look from a climate perspective, how wet was it, how extreme was it? We have to look at the records for Logan Airport over in Boston. That's our long-term climate site for eastern Massachusetts, and you can see some of the temperature data there as well, but we're going to focus in on the rainfall for July. You can see the average for the month of July is just over 3 inches, 3.27 inches. And in fact, the total was just over 10 inches, 10.07 for the month. And that's the second wettest July in the station's history. And the Boston records actually go back to the late 1800s. They've been at Logan Airport since about 1936. But prior to that, were located in various places in downtown Boston. So certainly kind of an historic amount there, being the second wettest. Now here in Norwood, the airport officially had 9.79 inches of rain during the month, and I live over in the Tree Streets over by Highland Cemetery, and my rain gauge recorded 12.18 inches for the month. So, why the difference? Well, in the summertime, showers and thunderstorms can be pretty localized, and sometimes the heavier rain, even though it's raining across the whole area, the pockets of heavier rain will be fairly localized. So I'm about 2 miles west of the airport as the crow flies, so not unusual to see some differences like that in the summertime. So, really around the town of Norwood, about anywhere from about 9 to 12 inches on average, and compare that with the normal July rainfall, which is just over 3 inches, and you're talking 3 to 4 times the average amount. So that's certainly very impressive as well. So we're going to talk a little bit about the jet stream, which was one of the major reasons why we got stuck in that pattern of seeing showers and thunderstorms, pretty frequently throughout the month. So first, just a little description of what the jet stream is. There are bands of strong winds concentrated in a pretty narrow stream in the atmosphere, normally up in the higher levels, where the jets fly. So think of cruising altitude, 35, maybe even 40,000 feet. And there are 2 jet streams on each side of the equator, so in each hemisphere. We have the polar jet stream, which is typically more active in the winter and delivers a source of cold air. And then we have the subtropical jet stream. That's more dominant in the summertime months and provides warm and humid air. And occasionally in the wintertime, these 2 jets can kind of merge or come close together, and that's when we tend to get our big snowstorms. So The position, their orientation really varies day to day. It's like almost like taking a jump rope and kind of flexing it up and down, and you see little bends and twists in it. But it does help us with general weather patterns. So is it going to be hot or cold, wet or dry? Those are general trends we can make out from looking at the jet stream patterns. So the important thing when we talk about the jet stream, we're identifying what are called troughs and ridges. So a trough here on the left is kind of a dip in the jet stream that you see here. Usually it allows colder air to come down from Canada. Usually drier air too, but not always. And then we have the opposite known as a ridge, which is this kind of bump up in the jet stream here over the west. And this is usually warmer weather, sometimes more moisture as well. So again, in the wintertime, these are a little bit more evident than they are in the summertime, but still an important player in our weather during the summer months. Now let's go to July and kind of show what happened here. Now, I should note, in the summertime, the jet stream is weaker than it is in the wintertime, and that's because the temperature differences aren't as great. We don't have a source of Arctic air in the summertime. The atmosphere is a lot warmer, so there's less of a temperature difference, and that leads to overall a weaker jet stream. But you can still see here, this is at about 34,000 feet, showing where the jet stream normally is. You can see it comes onto the west coast, goes to the Canadian prairies here, and then dives down across the Great Lakes. You can actually see the trough here. It's centered over the kind of the eastern Great Lakes, and then lifts out across New England. So again, we've got the two blocking features that we talked about. One is a ridge of high pressure in the desert southwest. That's right here. And that was what led to the unseasonable heat throughout much of the western third of the country back in July. Temperatures were well above 100 degrees, even into the Pacific Northwest for a time. And then our other blocking high pressure is here off the East Coast. This is the Bermuda High, and in the summertime, it's quite prevalent just off the Carolinas, and that's what gives us our hot and humid days, especially. We saw some of them in June, but also we tend to see them more in July and August. So again, this trough here over the east was blocked. It really had nowhere to go and kept a flow of kind of warm and tropical air into the region. Winds come out of the south. You can see kind of the motion around the trough. These would be southerly winds here up the East Coast. And the air is coming right from the Gulf Coast, from the Bahamas. This is tropical air, and it was just repeatedly coming into the area for several days at a time. And the other thing that a trough does is it provides a source of lift. We need lift to generate showers and thunderstorms. And the eastern side of the trough, which is right over the northeast here, is a source of lift. So it gave us moisture and lift, which again helped cause those showers and thunderstorms. Now, it's also important to look at things near the ground, our surface map. We talk about highs and lows and fronts. This was a stationary front that really settled across the area for several days around the middle of the month and was a focus for showers and thunderstorms. So these fronts provide just a little lift, especially near the ground, and help get the air rising to generate clouds and showers and thunderstorms. So what happened was we had rounds of showers and thunderstorms developing in the eastern Great Lakes, say around Buffalo, traveled east along the front. That's what they normally do. So as long as this front didn't move, we were going to have repeated rounds of showers and thunderstorms. And that's certainly what happened, especially in the first 2 weeks of the month. So we had all the ingredients in place, a blocked kind of jet stream pattern that provided a source of moisture from the Bahamas, from the Gulf Coast. It also helped steer Tropical Storm Elsa up the East Coast as well. And then we had this stationary front toward the middle of the month, which provided the focus for repeated showers and thunderstorms across the area, most notably western and central Massachusetts and northern Connecticut, where they did have some flash flooding. Roads were eroded away, bridges washed out in some cases. But really just a good pattern for heavy rain across much of the region back in July. So as we head into August here and September, we just want to remind folks that we are nearing the peak of the hurricane season. That's in about the middle of September. So always a good idea to keep track on the latest forecasts. We certainly do that for you at our office in Norton. You can go on the web, weather.gov/Boston, and find out all you need to know. But certainly keep tabs on the weather here as we come toward the end of the summer and look forward to the beginning of the school year in September. So again, I'm Joe Deli Carpini from the National Weather Service and a Norwood resident. And we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. We will be talking to him later this fall for a winter weather forecast for the Norwood area. Now we'll toss it over to Mike Maloof for this week's sports update.
Thanks, Kristen, and welcome to the sports update. Last Friday, the Legion baseball team season came to an end at the Balch Field. Post 70 squared off against rival Walpole in an elimination game to advance to the Commander's Cup. It was a hard-fought game, but Norwood fell short 3-0. Congrats on a great season to Legion Baseball. Tuesday night, down at Kelly Field, the 11-year-old summer ball team continued their very successful season. It was a battle of second-place teams as Norwood took on Needham. It was a back-and-forth scoring affair early in the game. Norwood was also making some great plays in the field, and none better than when Devin Dwyer made this running catch to end the top of the third inning. Let's go take a look.
Oh, it's gonna fall.
It's gonna fall in.
Oh,
wow.
what a catch!
Wow. Like it ain't no thing.
No big deal with a little style, a little swag.
The bats broke open late in the game, plating 9 runs in the bottom of the 5th, which ended the game in a 13-3 Slaughter Rule victory. Good luck in the playoffs to the 11-year-old summer ball team. And for this week's camp highlight, we head outside and actually out of town to Buckmaster Pond in Westwood. The Norwood Rec Department runs a fishing club which allows kids of all ages to learn this great activity.
I'm one of the supervisors for the Norwood Recreation Fishing Camp. We're at Buckmaster Pond today with one of our camps, and they're just fishing, having a good time. We're going to go explore around a little bit. So they learn a variety of techniques, you know, whether it's bobber fishing or using some like fake bait or something like that. And then we also take them out in the canoe so they get to experience that. We'll teach them knot tying, and yeah.
Danny DeBlasi remembers his days at camp and is happy to be back as a counselor.
Well, when I was younger, I never got the opportunity to do fishing camp. This is more of a newer thing the past couple of years. And but I remember I used to go to the regular play camps, and I wanted to be a counselor because it was like my favorite thing to do every day in the summer, and I went every session. And I mean, now to have it as a job to just be a counselor, and fishing camp especially, because I do enjoy fishing, and it's fun to just hang around with kids and teach them how to do certain things all day. It's an easy job, and it's definitely the best one I've had so far. So.
And for the kids, well, it was a week full of learning and catching.
So it had kind of jumped out of the water at my lure, like right before it came to shore. And I didn't really process of what happened, so yeah, it was a good experience.
Yeah, the water's nice. I just caught a big bass. Or not big, it was like half a pound, but still, it was a bass. It's nice to be out in the water because you're fishing and doing what you like, and you get to see the nice scenery, if you see behind me.
When I go with my dad, I'll probably have to teach him some things like tying the hook on or taking the fish off and various things that he probably doesn't know how to do.
Great work, kids. And Nora, make sure you teach your dad all those tricks. Stay tuned as we highlight more sports camps in the coming weeks. Well, that's all for sports. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more updates. Kristen, back to you.
Thanks, Mike. In government, the Board of Selectmen were formally introduced to Norwood's new Assistant General Manager at their Tuesday night meeting. Mike Rosen, the candidate hired to fill the shoes of Norwood's beloved Bernie Cooper, shared his excitement of joining the town that everyone returns to.
I'm extremely excited, as I have been quoted. I watched that video back that the community media station, I think I said the word excited about 7 times. So I'm going to try to steer clear of that tonight. But I'm really looking forward to getting to Norwood in just a couple of weeks at this point. I am working, as I said in my video, I'm working through the purchase and sale process, where I'm so excited. Well, I'm so excited, but I'm looking forward to be living in town, in my first ever home that I've ever owned in my life. So I'm working through the purchase and sale process on that right now. But a lot of good things coming. 2 days left here in Tallinn. People that I work with now know that it's a good opportunity for me to move to Norwood, and they're wishing me well here too. Tallinn's been a great place to work, but I'm ready for my next chapter.
The selectmen also met with representatives of Olivardi Restaurant, which closed last year amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The selectmen granted a 60-day extension to the owners of Olivardi's, in which time, if a prospective buyer has not put in an application for the liquor license, the board will revoke the license. The Board of Selectmen meet again on Tuesday, August 17th. Also Tuesday evening, the Zoning Board of Appeals held a meeting at the NCM studio. Some decided to join via to-go meeting. The first public hearing, 1369 Providence Highway, asked the board for a continuance. The board approved the request, and the group will revisit the case on September 7th. Next, a resident from Florence Ave appeared to request a variance. After some discussion, the resident decided to withdraw the application without prejudice. The board approved the request and the case was closed for now. Residents on Fulton Street will move forward with a second-floor addition and a new roof. The special permit was approved. Additional renovations will soon be underway over on Laurel Street. Residents applied for 2 special permits for an addition and more garage space. Both permits were approved. The zoning board meets next on September 7th. The Conservation Commission met Wednesday evening at the MCM studio. The Norwood Light Department appeared before the commission with a notice of intent for the Dean Street substation, where they will be performing upgrades to the building, including a 300-square-foot addition. Daniel Canada of VHB described the work that would be performed, and the Conservation Commission allowed the project to continue as presented. The commission received trail and land updates as well as regulatory updates from Conservation Agent Holly Jones. The Conservation Commission will meet again in the coming weeks. The school committee met on Wednesday night to discuss the mask policy for the upcoming school year. The group welcomed the town health director, Sigal Reese, for some input on the discussion.
So this is what we're working with as far as advisories that we've received through public health authorities. So the CDC, this is a quote from their website, recommends universal indoor masking for all teachers, staff, students, and visitors in K through 12 schools, regardless of vaccination status. American Academy of Pediatrics, very similar. I do want to note that both of these advisements do also stress the other prevention strategies, that we continue that, distancing as much as we can, ventilation, routine cleaning. We don't need the extensive cleaning that we were doing at the very beginning because we've learned that just regular cleaning is fine, and the testing.
Ultimately, the group voted to reinstate the mask mandate that was previously dissolved in June.
I'm going to make a motion that we reinstate policy EBCFA with a few changes. So if you guys does everybody have the policy in front of you so I can take you through what I'm thinking I'm going to suggest is changed?
Yep.
So in the second paragraph, it says a face covering that covers the nose and mouth must be worn by all individuals in school buildings, on school grounds, and on school transportation, even when social distancing is observed. I would strike on school grounds. And then in the first set of bullets is fine, but then the next one, it says additionally, face masks or covering will not be required when appropriate social distancing is enforced, and it's got 4 bullets. I think we would strike while outside because we've already taken care of that before, and then add a bullet that says if vaccinated adults are socially distanced and not in a room with students.
Though masks will be required indoors at the schools for all students, staff, teachers, and visitors, the board opted to allow the superintendent jurisdiction in special cases. For instances like janitors working in socially distant space, or administrative spaces in buildings where there is little to no student traffic, exceptions may be made by the superintendent. As a reminder, there will be no remote learning options available this year for the Norwood Public Schools. Technology Director Joe Kidd provided a detailed presentation of the 2021 to 2024 strategic plan. Later, the board discussed updates to the mask policy. The next school committee meeting will be September 1st. For complete government coverage, tune into the NCM Government Channel or watch on demand at norwoodcommunitymedia.org. Stay tuned after this break for more town news.
I'm a dad and a pastor.
I'm a mom and a principal.
And I am a daughter.
Wife and machu.
Great-grandfather.
I'm a rock climber.
A husband, a father, and a grandfather.
I'm a mother, a daughter, a wife, and a cousin.
I got vaccinated for my parents.
Because I want to be a good neighbor.
For safety and for the people I love.
For my family, for my community, and for our community at large.
કારણ કે મારી ઈચ્છા હતી કે મારા બાળક બીજા બાળક સાથે રમી શકે.
I got vaccinated so I didn't have to wear a mask.
For my family and for my community, your community.
We all come from different backgrounds
and speak different languages.
But we all agree on one thing.
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
Getting vaccinated.
Get vaccinated.
Vaccination card.
To protect yourself and others, get vaccinated.
To find out more information and to find a clinic, go to mass.gov/COVID vaccine.
Welcome back. Tuesday night, the Norwood Junior Women's Club hosted their first children's concert on the Common. Performer Stacy Lake sang as the children danced around in front of the bandstand. Before the performance began, members of the Junior Women's Club presented a check to the rec department.
Yes, so the Norwood Junior Women's Club has a scholarship fund, and we've been doing a number of online raffles. This is actually our 5th year donating to the rec department so that they can support families in need. Tonight, we are having one of our sponsored kids concerts, so this is sponsored by Norwood Bank. The performer is Stacy Lake. We thankfully are back on the Common this year for 3 concerts. So great weather, 2 more weeks, we've got 2 more great performers coming up.
Rec Superintendent Travis Farley is always appreciative of the Women's Club's support.
The Norwood Recreation Department is very excited to be partnering with the Junior Women's Club. I believe this is the 4th year in a row we're able to accept a donation from them. This donation helps. Last year we were able to have around 20 families out for a scholarship fund for the summer. The families are very appreciative. We're very appreciative of the Recreation Department having this relationship with the Junior Women's Club.
It's not every day that you have 2 Norwood natives anchor a major network newscast. This past week, Stephanie Simone and Dennis House anchored the 6 o'clock news on WTNH out of New Haven, Connecticut. Stephanie is an NHS graduate, class of 2002, and Dennis is a proud Balch alumnus. Stay tuned in the coming weeks where NCM will be catching up with Stephanie and Dennis.
Well, that's all for Norwood News. To stay up to date with Norwood Community Media, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend.